Hello and welcome to my Let's Play of The Dig, a game released by LucasArts in 1995. A point-and-click adventure game, obviously, since that's what they mostly did around that time. And not as well known of perhaps as the Monkey Island series, Full Throttle, Grim Fandango, and most of the other point-and-click adventure games they did.
This is the loneliest place on Earth.
But first, let's watch this intro. It's actually pretty cool, so I'm gonna leave you with it.
Ever happens here is the day when it don't rain. Excuse me, darling, I got some work to do. What the heck is that? Get on in here, Pete. We got us a big old asteroid on a 3-week collision course with Earth.
The asteroid has been named Attila, after the war leader of the Huns, who devastated Europe just before the fall of the Roman Empire. Attila was first spotted in a tracking station in Borneo. According to NASA sources, the probability of impact with Earth is 99%.
5, 4, ignition, 2, 1.
The shuttle is up and away. This is not a mission the shuttle was designed for, but as Mission Commander Boston Lowe said in the press conference last night,
if the shuttle is the last hope of the human race, then it'll have to do the job, won't it? Wait a minute, folks. Let me introduce the landing team. Ludger Brink is a noted geologist. He'll evaluate our data on placement of the nuclear devices.
We have to be accurate. The idea isn't to blow Attila to bits. If we did, some of the pieces would certainly hit Earth with devastating effect.
And now I hardly have to introduce Maggie Robbins to you. She's probably the most well-known journalist in the world.
Maggie, you're famous for having once said that you never put up with censorship in any form. Now you're under NASA command.
Miss Robbins is a reporter by vocation, but on this mission she's...
I think I can answer the question myself, Commander Lowe. Danny, I trained for this mission, and I have work to do in laying the nuclear charges. When I come home, I'll be a reporter and tell you all about it. But during the mission, I'm part of the team, and I will obey Commander Lowe like any good soldier.
That may be the biggest news story of all. Maggie Robbins obeys orders.
In going over your bios, I find that Professor Brink is also a noted archaeologist, while it's well known that Maggie is a prodigy at learning new languages. Is this just coincidence?
Not at all. We wanted the best and the brightest for this mission. Dr. Brink and Ms. Robbins are not narrow specialists. They are resourceful, widely educated, and creative thinkers.
Does that apply to you too, Commander Lowe?
My job is to keep everybody alive. I don't have to be brilliant. I just have to be careful. The other 2 crew members will remain with the shuttle. Ken Borden is the most experienced shuttle pilot we have. Cora Miles is our payload specialist. As you all know, she's a candidate for Congress, but we figured saving the planet is more important than campaigning.
It's cheaper, too.
Any parting message for the people of Earth?
We have exactly one chance, and we've got to do it right. Let all your prayers be with us.
Low here. Come on out, kids. The water's fine.
Robin's here. Going independent.
Welcome to the wonderful world of space. Don't bump into anything.
I'll be careful, Commander.
Brink here, going independent.
Howdy, Brink. Welcome to the place where geology and astronomy meet.
A professor once told me, astronomers are geologists with clean hands and a squint.
You going to quote him on that in some magazine, Robbins?
I'm just part of the landing team right now, Commander Lowe.
Alright, there we have it. That's the intro. And I mean, we're definitely in a position that's common for a video game. We are supposed to save the world. First off, I'm going to do this. Maybe something I should have done already at the beginning of the intro, but hopefully you got most of that. And the essence of it is that we have this massive asteroid going towards the Earth. It's going to destroy us. We have one chance to save us by breaking it up. It's basically
Landing team. Let's go check out conditions on the surface.
basically the story of Armageddon.
Weatherman called for clear skies, no wind, no rain, no air.
And I've mostly got the subtitles on in case I interrupt the characters, which will happen a lot. So as I mentioned, this game is not as well known as the other point-and-click adventure games by LucasArts. I can only guess that it's because it wasn't as well received. Most people thought it had a great atmosphere, but it was a bit too hard. So, let's see, we've got the asteroid right here. Obviously this is not maybe 100% scientifically correct, but we'll just go with it because, you know, it's a video game. We're not expecting pure realism here. Okay, let's see. See what we can find. So yeah, even though it's not that well known, it actually has some pretty famous names attached to it. The original concept for this game was conceived by Steven Spielberg, who had the idea to make this into a movie, but that didn't really happen. So instead they decided to make it into a game. The dialogue is written by Orson Scott Card, a pretty famous science fiction writer. He's done, if I'm correct, he's done the Ender's Game series, which I haven't read myself. That's the target surface. Let's see.
It's where explosive alpha should be placed.
Alrighty. That doesn't look like anything I can use. I'm gonna have to get acquainted with the controls a bit here. Last time I played this game was maybe 15 years ago. I've played it... Let's see if I can find my way out. Played it maybe twice or thrice. My first encounter with it was actually watching my mom play it. She's a sucker both for science fiction and puzzle games, and I'm a pretty big fan of science fiction as well, so I actually really like this game. I don't remember the puzzles being that hard, but I bet they are. Visually it's obviously very similar to another Let's Play I've made of the Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. It looks pretty much exactly like that. I think they're released around the same time as well. That game is very easy though, so we'll see how I do on this one. Hopefully I remember quite a lot. Let's see.
There's a big rock right where I need to plant the nuke.
So we need to get rid of that somehow. We got some things here. Maybe I can whack it. Where are you going, Rob? I'm down here. In case you didn't notice, the main character is voiced by Robert Patrick, who obviously does things like Terminator 2. He plays T-1000. That's probably his most famous role. Let's see if we use this. I know what I need to do. I just can't remember how to do
There's
it.
a big rock right where I need to plant the nuke.
Yeah. Oh, this is a little game you can play. Although I'm not... Oh, okay. I guess you need to land on the planet without dying. How do I get out of this, though? Let's just die. Poor little lander. New creator on the asteroid. Yeah, I get it. So they put this little
Not my
minigame.
fault. The buttons were sticky.
Yeah, of course. Let's get out of this somehow.
Mission aborted.
There we go. Good old escape key. And here's how you talk to your other characters.
Miles, this is Low. Do you read?
So,
Yeah, Boston, I'm on you.
let's see what she has to say.
In your dreams.
So I need to get rid of...
How's the congressional campaign going without you?
That's not what I'm curious about.
Well, my opponent is demanding equal time in space.
With or without a suit?
Just don't screw up the mission, Boston, and I'll be in Congress next January.
It's interesting to note that people, the reviewers actually thought that the characters are pretty generic.
It looks kind of lonely out there all by itself, Boston.
And I can tell you now, slight spoiler alert maybe, the Brink, this guy, and Robbins, they're actually a bit of pain in the ass if I remember correctly. Like I said, I haven't played this now for quite some time. Let's see if we can use the arming key.
It won't accomplish anything.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to you.
Robbins, this is Low. Do you read?
Robin's here. I read you.
What do you think of our archaeologist?
He can hear us, so
I'm very impressed with his
as far as I know. This is
US Geological Survey team that mapped the
going
surface of
across all
Venus.
the comms, obviously.
You'll be taking a close look at the asteroid to make certain the detonation points they've chosen are suitable. Low out.
Well, let's go back to the space station. What I need is a tool actually to break this boulder off. And that tool might be in the spaceship then. So yeah, this game...
That really was something. A place no human has ever touched.
And our job is to blast the hell out of it. Let's move. Low out.
Yeah, that's what humans do, right? They break things. Yeah, this game has a great atmosphere. If you're into science fiction, this is definitely a must-play. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. No. As you may have noticed, this game doesn't have the, like,
It's the pig.
classic...
Payload specialist Miles needs to use the remote arm to release it.
Yeah, how do I open it? This doesn't have the classic interface, really, where you can open things. Let's see. So
It's
I'm
the pig.
curious as to how I interact
Payload
with things.
specialist Miles needs to use the remote arm to release it.
Yeah. I'm supposed to find... I wonder if this probably just does the same thing.
It's a free-fall NASA tool chest containing this mission's equipment. It's affectionately known as the Flying Pig.
Okay. Can we get that over where we are, maybe? Kinda need that.
Miles, come in, Miles.
Miles here.
Ready for the deployment of the free fall tool chest.
There we go.
Is the crew clear of the area?
Nope, not yet. We need the tool chest over by the asteroid, obviously, so we can start drilling.
Proceed.
And they already mentioned what the different characters do. And for some reason they decided to bring someone who's a journalist for such an important mission. I really don't understand why you would do that. Surely you would bring people with some sort of trade skill in space stuff and whatever importance
Everything fine with the pig, Cora?
Looking sweet, Boston.
the journalistic part might have in this really should come second when you've got the entire race of humanity at stake, basically.
Go to landing team. I'm taking the pig down to the surface.
There we go.
Follow me.
You be good to my baby, Boston, you hear me?
We'll be back soon, Cora.
See, we don't have the scum interface with open, close, look, pull, push, all those things. They've scaled that off here. I actually forgot about that. Let's see, so I'm going to see how I interact with things here. I guess somehow he's gonna... They do things automatically when you click things like this, so in a way that actually makes stuff easier. Okay, we've got the bombs, we've got the digger. I'm gonna grab that and put that in my inventory. Actually, I could grab the bombs as well, but just grab everything here. And that's the shovel, good. That's that then. Whoops, okay. How do I get out of here? There we go. So, let's go to the boulder and move that. Put down our payloads. See if this goes as badly as it does in Armageddon, in which case this will be a very short game. Maybe that's why it didn't receive very good reviews. Here we are. I believe we need to use the digger here, if I remember correctly. There are parts of this game
Guess what, boys and girls? Using the zero-G digger on this boulder is gonna work just as well as trying to move a sand dune with a teaspoon.
Yeah, okay.
We better think of something else.
You're the one who thought of it.
Better find out what Mission Control suggests.
Mission Control? I'm not calling Houston until I'm sure there's nothing we can do. Just think for a minute.
Exactly, just think for a minute. Fine, so that one's too little. I'm guessing maybe the shovel will do the work then.
Cora, Kent, I'm jamming the shovel in under the boulder, then using maximum down thrust to pry it up. Does that sound workable?
Well, I'm a little short on data about the tensile strength of shovel handles in zero-G under maximum thrust conditions. In other words, who knows? It might work.
Be careful.
Ever the smartass.
Handle breaks, maximum down thrust will smash you right into Attila. You know the saying, whether the stone hits the glass or the glass hits the stone, it ain't gonna hurt the stone.
Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah. Like
Frank,
this
if this
isn't
actually works, the boulder's going to come flying straight at you.
hard enough as it is.
Better fly clear.
Thanks for the warning.
There we go. Don't understand why it's so important that it needs to be put exactly there.
Now, aren't you glad I made sure the tool chest had a shovel in it? My rule is, if you can pick it up, take it with you, because you never know when you might need it.
I have the same rule, Cora, but I thought it only applied to women in bars.
Ooh.
If you can pick her up.
Not sure if that's right.
Careful, Ken. You don't want to find yourself getting quoted as a sexist pig in Maggie's article.
I'm not here to spy on you.
He would though, because Maggie's a massive smartass, and Brink is just quite arrogant. I'm gonna be a bit prejudiced and say it might be because he's based on he's supposed to be a German. I'm German myself, so I'm allowed to say it, but I guess that's what they're thinking. Okay, we've moved a boulder. That's what I'm gonna achieve for this episode. In the next episode, we're gonna see what happens when we put the bombs down, if everything goes as planned. Spoiler alert, it doesn't really, but you get to see what happens in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.